Okay. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I got COVID. Okay, I got some tea. So I make a bunch of different types of videos. If you're new, this is not like the main type of video I make. Please feel free to check out some of my other stuff. So yeah, I got COVID. Although that is not the main topic of this video, although I guess you can say I kind of inspired it for two different reasons. Number one is because I was so incredibly sick, I couldn't really focus on anything or do anything, or AKA editing. I had like no mental capacity, and so I am now like 4 or 5 videos behind in editing, because this last month has been so amazing. So many amazing things have happened, and I've filmed along the way. We've gone traveling, gone on a lot of different adventures. It's springtime, the earth is coming alive, everything is waking up. Actually, today is May 1st, so happy May Day, or Beltane, or the many, many different other words for celebrating this amazing day and the natural rhythms and cycles of our earth. But also, number two, because when you are said incapable of doing anything except for laying in bed and just turning inward, it definitely inspires a lot of thought. Internal reflection. And yeah, something that feels really present for me right now is just trying to be as consistent as possible with making videos and being consistent in a certain way, showing up in a certain way, just making sure that I'm still always in this practice, you know, because the creativity, being ourselves, embodying is a practice. And so it's more just about like keeping that alive after spending 7 days in bed, basically feeling like the living dead. Absolutely brutal. Do not recommend. Duh. And so it just felt right to reconnect with you guys, also because it was amazing. With my last video, my very first vlog, it was so healing and so transformative to create in this way and relate in this way that I was like, I want to do this again. I was like so excited too to just be able to connect with you guys in this way and kind of share my experience and some things that I was thinking about. I was like, well, that's what I'm gonna do. There's no right way to create, you know, and there's nothing linear or logical about it. Sometimes you just gotta let it flow and see whatever is present. So here we are. I'm actually almost done with my tea now, because I have sat here and repeatedly tried to say just this, but sometimes it's really hard to say what you mean. And it can be so incredibly hard to just show up in this way that I'm almost done with my cup of tea. But I encourage you, grab a cup of tea. We're gonna have a lovely little conversation. So, first off, both Noel and I did end up getting COVID while we were traveling. The other thing, just to state the obvious, which is I am not at home. I am currently house sitting / pet sitting for a really, really dear friend of mine. The only hard thing is that we've now been away from our kitties, Lil and Bodhi. I miss them so much. So yeah, I have like 4 or 5 videos that I am editing. Some teasers of just some incredible, hysterical, inspiring travels and adventures. Yeah, but lots of road tripping and rock climbing and exploring and friends and food and goofiness and hot springs and springtime magic and land magic and so many different things. Those are coming your way. Yeah, feeling really, really grateful for all of those experiences and adventures. really enjoying the shift in energy and momentum that just the earth coming alive here in the northern hemisphere, springtime moving into summertime, has brought with it. It's just really, really nice. And also finally getting an opportunity to visit other places and see people that I love and go on a lot of adventures and be outside and go rock climbing and be in the sun, and oh, so many different things has been so, so, so wonderful. Well, the first thing that I want to talk about is a gift that getting sick has given me. It brought up a lot, and I think it's worth talking about. When you get sick, you're forced to slow down and shift the momentum of your energy, the direction of your energy, and it's been really fascinating to see what that brings up. As in that when I was met with needing to slow down, there were a lot of different layers and levels of things that came up for me about that, including like a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. Even though I was feeling really, really horrible, like could barely move, you know, there was still this feeling of like, oh, well, you're resting, like you should just be editing. Can't you do anything productive in the pandemic world that we live in, and more people working from home? And also just in the modern world that we live in, there's this emphasis on, specifically in our American Western culture, of there not being space to stop, to slow down, to take a break, to rest, rejuvenate, you know, to have space and permission to be ill. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me. Any natural cycle has a period of rest, a period of stopping, a period of repose, or even, you know, like a cycle of life and death. Like, it was really interesting for me to realize how much you know, because this is something that I think about all of the time, and it's not something that I, you know, consciously subscribe to, that way of thinking of hustle culture, or just like that, that my worth or my life is valid based off of what I'm doing and what I'm producing. But it was fascinating to be put in a position where, you know, I came to a full stop, and to still find places and spaces in my mind and my consciousness and my energy where I have still internalized this way of being, this way of thinking, this way of relating to myself. Because it's crazy. I would never, and this is what's so insidious about all this, I would never relate to another person this way. If a friend of mine got sick, I would never be like, you know, you should really be able to like pump out a bunch of work. Like, no. But still, we relate to ourselves this way. And I think that's just, ooh, that's a particular kind of evil. But in our world today, we really, really struggle with this. So it's definitely been an invitation for me to kind of look at where I'm still subscribed to this idea of my worth or my value being tied in with what I'm producing. Whatever your passion is, we have to come up with ways of relating to what we do that is in alignment, in harmony with the natural rhythms and cycles of our being and of our humanity, and even of our environment. And the power of that, when you are actually doing that, is almost impossible to describe. It affects absolutely everything. It's just, I could go on and on and on and on. Not that I'm trying to find a silver lining in the shit that has been getting sick and getting COVID, and thankfully recovering from COVID, but being in the space and seeing all of the different layers and levels where I have internalized certain ways of being that are not congruent with what I really know to be true has been a huge gift, and I think is going to definitely influence how I move forward creating from here on out. I think I need to go make more tea. All right. Oh, no. Okay. Second cup of tea acquired. Ooh, but it is way too hot. Right. Tea acquired. Osha root cough syrup taken. Let's hope that I stop coughing every other word. I think the process of being seen by others can be one of the scariest things to confront for so many reasons. It's definitely something that is so worth looking at in our lives. This process of making videos for me has been another chapter in that journey for myself. I can't tell you the number of things that I have created, that I've wanted to create, that I have stopped myself because I have been afraid of being seen. Whether that's writing or different podcast ideas or different projects or businesses or whatever it might be, I have hid so much, whether that's in not doing it or not creating circumstances that would allow it to be seen. You know, so for example, like, oh, I don't want people to see me that I know until I'm successful. Which, you know, gets into like a whole thing about what is deserving of respect. Our culture puts in our head so many ideas about what is deserving of respect. Is a person that is showing up vulnerable with 5 subscribers more valuable than somebody that is showing up in complete bullshit with 5 million subscribers? What do you believe in? And that's what I've been having to ask myself in the past. Have tried to start a podcast or two. And that I found near impossible. I would sit in front of a microphone and record something and stop and delete because I couldn't say it perfectly. And then like press record again, like just again and again and again and again. And it became excruciating because I was so stuck in saying it just right. And there's nothing is different about this medium. As a matter of fact, it's like way more overwhelming because you're also looking at me, you know? It's like, what? I'm somebody that in the past has really hid behind doing pretty things because, you know, doing pretty things sometimes creates a distance between you and your audience. And people might watch that and be like, how is that a vulnerable video for you, Gabrielle? You know, it's not necessarily like vulnerable information, but it was a vulnerable way of showing up that was way less curated. Like, this is another step for me to just talk like this and to share this way. This is the next step, and I'm loving this direction. But to share thoughts and experience in an honest and real way feels like I'm like, oh, I like that. I want to go that way. Because, you know, all of these expressions, whether it's like goofy Gabrielle or beautiful video voiceover Gabrielle talking about, you know, philosophical things and thoughts on life or whatever, and then like Gabrielle sharing her experience, Gabrielle, you know, like all of that is me. And I've wanted, and I feel like we all need space to express the multidimensionality of who we are in our experience. And maybe sometimes what we need is just a little curiosity to try different mediums of where we feel comfortable to put ourselves out there, and then that experience, it like builds momentum, because now, yeah, it's reaching other parts of my life. I am finding myself bursting through a lot of old beliefs and deeply held insecurities and traumas and all kinds of things. Being able to lean into them and work with them and work through them, not overcome them, not bypass them, not in and through. It's the only way. There's something about this too that has enabled me to see the purpose in all of the different stages of this journey. It's okay that I wasn't ready to show up in this way and produce things, you know? We shouldn't measure the worth of our experience based on what we produce. But seriously, how much closer to home we come to ourselves. Like, whoa. But yeah, just showing up as we are, who we are. If it is real and authentic and it is a representation of us coming home closer to ourselves, it is valid, it is worthy, it is the kind of healing and medicine that I think our world needs right now. Anyway, so yeah, I have like 4 or 5 videos that I am editing and will be continuing to edit and release that are coming very soon. Oh, goose! But yeah, just wanted to make a little video to say hi and check in. If you're new or old, thank you so much for your time and your attention. Like, I realize that like that's one of the most vulnerable things, so I'm really, I highly value, respect, and honor that you have spent time with me, and thank you to everyone that has left just the most incredible, supportive, kind, wonderful comments to myself and to other people. That is just the most amazing thing ever. And yeah, look forward to sharing my adventures with you guys coming up. So anyway, thank you. Wherever in the world that you are, sending you so much love. No, I don't know anything. Oh. I have a feeling this is gonna take me forever to edit. It's the cutest little bird. Be yourself and fuck this shit. Ooh, cringe. And oddly, my left butt cheek is asleep. Oh, that wasn't natural. I don't know if anything of what I just said makes sense. Okay, last thing, just because I'm really all about trying to be 1000% transparent. For those of you that are watching, you're like, oh my God, like, she just says all these things. No. There are very long ass pauses in between things and a million different times where I have to go back over what I said and say it differently because I don't think that I said it best. So don't be fooled by the editing, but I have to bear with myself and be with myself as I'm going through the very first uncomfortable, ugly tries of trying to say something and articulate my thoughts and my feelings, and also to say that it's not just while I'm doing it, but after I'm doing it, after I've put something out there, just to be with myself and the discomfort and the overwhelm that sometimes I feel and the fear that I feel sometimes that I didn't speak to so many different aspects, that I left something out, that I didn't say this, that I didn't say it perfectly, that I didn't bring this up and that up, and oh my God, how could I forget this? Like, the editing process for me can be somewhat excruciating because I'm just like, oh my God, I forgot this and I thought that. It's like hindsight is 20/20, and you always will realize like, oh, I coulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But don't shit all over yourself so that you don't create. So anyway, just wanted to say that. Number 1, it's not always just this fluid thing, AKA thank you editing. And number 2, no, I don't always feel confident after I'm done. I'm usually just like, ugh, thinking of all of the different things that I didn't say. So yeah, that's not represented in this video, but let it be known that that is the true nature of creating. Starts and stops and wishing you had done it differently, but just let it be. Just let it be what it is, as it comes out, how it comes out. That kind of sounds like a poop joke. Anyway, try to end on an inspiring note.